If you're trying to save a few pennies furnishing your home, you may be interested to know that some of IKEA's affordable furniture have some strikingly similar designer furniture siblings. So in this video, I want to show you some pieces that may be able to provide your home with a mid-century modern, high-end look without the crippling designer price tag. One of the best looking sofas that IKEA sells right now is the Aplerid, which bears some striking similarities to a highly popular piece of designer furniture called the Outline sofa by design studio Anderson & Voll for Muto, who I personally think design some of the best looking furniture that you can buy. I can only dream of one day being able to afford furniture like this, but with the Aplerid's curved spongy armrests and delicate black metal legs, it provides an alternative to the Outline sofa that most people can actually afford and buy, and I think that the light grey and beige fabrics that IKEA are offering look fantastic. If this style of sofa doesn't quite float your boat, another great option is the Civic or Finale sofas that look somewhat similar to the iconic Macchiaro sofa by Italian architect Mario Marenco for Arflex. Considering that this sofa costs more than any car that I've ever owned, these IKEA alternatives may help you get the same look, and although they're not identical with slightly different armrests and legs, I still think that they're quite close, and I think they look pretty decent regardless. Quickly, before we move on to the amazing lounge chairs on this list, I want to thank the awesome sponsor that made today's video possible, Morning Brew. If you're anything like me, you may have found yourself mindlessly scrolling through social media and pointless, clickbaity, boring news articles before the workday has even started. And if you're smart, you may have realized that this is a huge drain on your valuable time, energy, and mood, and it's probably not the most productive way to start your day. However, Morning Brew solves this with their witty, relevant, and informative newsletters, which make it incredibly easy to get up to speed on the latest in business, finance, and tech in just 5 minutes. Being signed up meant that I was immediately up to speed on important events like Elon Musk's Twitter purchase and the latest on the stock market. And because Morning Brew is completely free and genuinely takes less than 15 seconds to subscribe, there's nothing to lose in checking it out using the link down in the video description. For lounge chairs, IKEA's IKEA set is an incredible choice, and I thought this so much that I decided to get not one, but 2 of them back when we furnished our family home 4 years ago. I think these look incredibly similar to the 240 and 290 chairs by Hans Wegner, who is arguably one of the most iconic mid-century modern furniture designers. However, I think the IKEA set probably most closely resembles the B7727 armchairs designed by Henrik Liss in 1960. This wooden framed style is an incredibly comfortable classic piece for any living room, with its sloped seat and more reclined stance, which you have to give credit to IKEA for designing this as an affordable flat pack piece. Another item that looks like it references another Hans Wegner classic is the IKEA Frosset, with the curved wooden seat and back taking a similar appearance to the GE 1936 and Shell chair. I think with this one, the Frosset's veneered plywood legs and exposed fixings are a mile off Hans Wegner's solid oak design, and do give it away as being an IKEA product. But I think that it's still worth a mention as far as lounge chairs go, they don't really get much more affordable than this. Dining chairs are probably the area where IKEA have the most designer lookalikes, and there are a bunch that I had to simply leave off this list as it would be way too long. However, one of my favourites is the Lizabo, which I think bears some similarities to the Naoto Fukasawa designed roundish chair, but less roundish. And I think that this looks best in black, as this colour does a great job of disguising the less refined visible fixings of an IKEA product. However, as a similar alternative, there's also the Renenge chair, which bears some similarities to the Lightwood chair by Jasper Morrison, and also the Hansela that looks strikingly similar to the Hans Wegner designed CH33P chair. These chairs all have a timeless mid-century modern style, which looks great in nearly every home, and because they're timber, these types of chairs are perfect for dining rooms as they're resistant to spills and can be easily repaired too, meaning that they're likely to end up staying in your home wherever you move for years to come. Although they look great, timber chairs can be quite uncomfortable to sit on for long periods if you're not happy with using seat pads. So the Vedbo chair from IKEA is a great Scandi-styled upholstered option which bears some similarities to Heave Velling's beautiful AAL82 and AAC13 chairs for hay, which I think look fantastic. With the Vedbo available in a comfortable upholstered shell with or without arms, it makes it a great option. However, due to its price, it's definitely on the more expensive end of IKEA's range. But if affordability is at the top of your priority list, IKEA's Karljan chair may be the best of both worlds, as it's upholstered and bears some similarities to the Ixos Berlin designed soft edge chair, which when paired with furniture that softens its hard tubular steel frame, I think it can actually make a pretty tasteful and highly affordable option. It only makes sense to go through some of IKEA's tables next to pair some of these dining chairs with, and I think that this is an area which is incredibly easy to get wrong, as tables are often just seen as large surfaces with 4 legs. However, this couldn't be further from the case. A great pick in my opinion is also the Vedbo table, with its curved ends and angled rounded legs resembling some of the details from the CH002 table by Hans Wegner, without the folding ends. However, as this is only available in black or white, a great looking timber option is the Runninge as well, which resembles Jasper Morrison's Lightwood table, a bit like how the Runninge chairs resemble the Lightwood chairs too. Both of these tables have some really nice rounded details. However, if entirely round tables are what you need, you'll be interested to know that the Dockster is essentially an IKEA version of the iconic 1957 tulip table by Eero Saarinen, with its white singular leg providing an incredibly minimal option that can provide a great backdrop for other furniture to stand out against. However, I definitely say that like other metal furniture, you definitely want to be sure to pair it with soft and warm items to avoid your space feeling like a hospital cafe. When it comes to desks, if you're not already a part of the sit-stand camp like I am, there are actually some great static options available from IKEA too, such as the Trotten frame, which I think looks a lot like Wim Reitveld's classic pyramid table, with 4 delicate yet sturdy angled legs, which actually might work great as a dining table too, as this design provides so much understated visual interest. However, if you're in need of a really compact option to work at, the Lizarbo desk is actually a great pick, as this family of tables were actually winners of a Red Dot Design Award, and I think that the underslung drawer on this desk in particular might bear some stylistic similarities to the beautiful Hardy desk by David Irwin that has a really nice rustic Scandi look. I'd say that when it comes to lighting, this is probably IKEA's weakest area, as feature lighting especially is really hard to get right, as so often generic floor lamps and pendants just end up looking incredibly cheap because they're simply just so generic. My picks of the bunch right now would be the Nomane lights, as they're incredibly sleek and minimal and actually follow a very similar aesthetic to a beautiful range of lights by the Spanish designer Joan Gaspar, and because these are so minimal, you can be sure that they're likely to fit in any room that you place them in, which makes them incredibly versatile too. Another favourite of mine is the Desja lamp, which I actually included in one of my last Architect Redesigns videos, as it looks incredibly similar to the Knox table lamp by Alfredo Haberly, with a beautiful rounded opaline glass diffuser sitting on top of a simple cylindrical base. And in all honesty, as I'm not a huge fan of the glazed ceramic finish on the Desja, I'd be tempted to paint this myself to make it even less conspicuous as an IKEA product. However, when it comes to picking pieces that stand out a little bit more, IKEA also do the Everdal lamps, which I think actually look incredibly good. However, they do look very similar to the Jube lights by Favoretto and Partners for Vistosi, and for an IKEA product, these definitely aren't cheap. So if you're willing to spend this much on a feature light, it might actually be worth considering designer options in this circumstance. Finally, as a bit of a bonus, I thought I'd include a few honourable mentions that I'm not particularly fond of, but I do think that they are worth mentioning. IKEA actually got in a bit of trouble for this one, as it was so much like the original, and this was with their Meltorp chair, which looks almost identical to the Norman Foster designed 2006 chair for Amico. I do think it can be difficult to say when someone's outright plagiarizing another person's design, as because of the internet, it seems that almost everything these days is essentially a remix of something or other, but in this case, IKEA may have gone a step too far. However, they did manage to reach an out-of-court settlement for this, and they now sell a slightly different looking alternative named the Teodoras. And before you click off this video, I have a huge announcement, and that is that I am going to be starting a new series reviewing your actual spaces, as I've realized that there are a ton of you who have some great homes but may just want some feedback like a sketch or a nudge in the right direction or a little bit of help with furniture choices. So if this sounds like something that interests you, upload a photo of your home or space to Instagram or Twitter using the hashtag ArchitectReacts, and I'll do my best to include it in an upcoming video. I'm super excited to see what you guys post. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.